está, né, também de óleo e outros produtos que são na sua. Esse aqui é uma agora no sul, e aqui nós entramos no projeto comercial, todo dia, por período, nós fizemos então nós fizemos assim, né, no caso, essas horas, a gente faz água do desenvolvimento inicial, e depois a gente mantém essa série por cima. E é uma cultura que, então, é difícil trabalhar ele é uma a produzir base, quase de forma das, da troca da foto. Aqui tem um detalhe, quando eu tenho aqui, né, aquele naquele então, quando eu e com maior digamos, hidrogel privado, eu tive uma e quando o azul, a prova de mesmo com teste, eu consegui manter a massa seca. E então, eu estou um pouco comercial, ou prova de casa. Na questão que ela e nós já estamos com o H de casa e mesmo os índices de participação com a ligação. Esse a morreu da questão de falta de aqui né, pela essa equipamento e mostrou diminuir a e o hidrogênio quando 100% a gente está melhor aí e no caso a hidrogênio então os caras e aí a educação mostrando que só pode ser desenvolvendo com desse nós desenvolvemos aí que não foi desenvolver esse problema lá em Piauí com 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 carro, né? Pão, pão, então E utilizou 4 de hidrogel, pode a produção hídrica e referência à alternativa, mostrando, mostrando muito de renova, 4 de renova, e comercial, a, o hidrogel de carne, mais ao carne, é a mesma produção de material em relação aos, ao comercial. Então, também, no caso, pode e aqui nós entramos nesse no Papa Sul, consideração que também pode ser utilizado de carga. Esse também promove o desenvolvimento com o segundo. Aqui, então, nós consideramos hidrogênio reservado ao solo comercial, nesse para a inserção da e promover a utilização dele na parte de tudo. Agradecer ao ONCC essa oportunidade, a Universidade Federal do Sul, a CNPq e a Universidade Federal do Sul, de trabalhar com projetos e desenvolver esse trabalho em parceria. Obrigado. Meus parabéns ao senhor pela apresentação, muito interessante. Eu só queria perguntar em relação à temperatura tanto na delegação do hidrogel, como na absorção pelo solo. A gente pergunta, no caso, nós não mas tem um trabalho que eu posso passar por aqui, que é a questão da temperatura e da consideração do funcionamento de um laboratório. Tem, tem essa questão da temperatura, não da gradação, mas da água, uma hora para aqui. Mas eu posso. Bom dia. Vocês sabem usar como passa pela verificação, dessa verificação, separar tudo, momento local, e aí depois completa o projeto. Mas eu acho que por uma verificação. Eu sou comercial, então foi produzido com a mão para afinar a sim,
Ali.
justamente. Não, aí, no caso, né, e aí ela me tratava. Aí, se você fizer isso, olha, o melhor que você pode, entendeu?
Bicho, eu tô que ele vai ter pra processamento tão forte não. Ele travou, nem abriu aquele avião. O que aconteceu? Can you say hello, please?
Sorry?
Perfect. Okay, it's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see anything anymore, but I don't see you. I don't see the room. Okay.
Damos continuidade à nossa programação com a honra de receber o diretor de Relações Internacionais, o Sr. Severin Van Gastel, para ministrar a palestra Opportunities to Study or Conduct Research on Natural Fibers, Bio-Based Materials, Printed Communication and Paper. Welcome to the renowned IMP Padora, a unique graduate school of engineering in France, at the heart of the Alps. Especialista em cooperação internacional, com experiência em gerenciamento de projetos, desenvolvimento de estratégias, gestão de equipes, comunicação intercultural, networking, possui bacharelado em Direito pela Universidade de Valenciennes, mestre em Direito, com especialização em Direito ao Público Internacional e Direito Europeu, e em Ciências Políticas pela Universidade de Lille, e mestre em Estudos Europeus pela Universidade de Jagiellona, na Cracóvia, Polônia. Participou do Consulado Oficial da França em Cracóvia de outubro de 2008 até junho de 2009. Participou da Embaixada da França no Uzbequistão como oficial de cooperação acadêmica e técnica, dezembro de 2009 até dezembro de 2011. Participou do Ministério da Justiça da França como oficial de políticas para a região da Ásia. Participou da Embaixada da França no Cazaquistão como oficial de cooperação acadêmica de setembro de 2013 até agosto de 2017. Esteve presente na Grenoble INP Pagora e LGP2 Lab na Escola de Engenharias como diretor de parcerias, em fevereiro de 2019. A exposição será realizada em formato híbrido, com transmissão pelo YouTube. É com grande prazer que convido o Sr. Severin Van Gastel a iniciar sua apresentação. It is with great pleasure that we invite Mr. Severin Van Gastel to begin his presentation.
All right. Can you hear me? Can you just confirm that you hear me well?
Yes.
You do. Okay. So, bom dia. Good morning, because I think in Brazil it's still morning, when here it's almost the end of the day. I'm very happy to be with you. I don't speak Brazilian or Portuguese, unfortunately. And as you heard on my CV, I have been rather a person who worked in Asia or in Europe, in Eastern Europe. So I cannot speak to you in Portuguese. However, I can speak English. I hope English language is fine for this presentation. And it's also sad for me that I'm not with you today, since I think the city where you are is very sunny and very, very interesting to be. But I'm well represented by my colleague Alain Dufresne, whom had a presentation yesterday. So the challenge for me will be to keep you motivated, because as far as I understood, you are just before the lunch, which means you are probably starving and waiting for me to finish to have a lunch. So I will try to make my presentation as attractive as possible. And I think we will have some time for some question as well at the end of the presentation. So I will just put it in a full screen. Can you confirm you see the full screen of my presentation? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, and now can you see the second slide of my presentation?
No.
You see the second slide where it starts with Grenoble, right?
The screen is actually frozen, and you are not in the full mode.
Okay.
Okay, now it moved to slide 2, but you're still in your PowerPoint. It's not the full screen.
No, not in a full screen, but sometimes we. Let's do this
now.
Sorry.
It's like now.
Can we do it like this, or because I am afraid that the full screen unfortunately creates a disturbance.
It's okay. Okay.
Can you see it properly? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, my presentation is to present you the opportunities to study or to conduct research in Grenoble, and more specifically to Grenoble INP Pagora Graduate School of Engineering, or the GP2 laboratory. So, as you see on this slide, we are located in France, more or less in the southeast of France, though we are still very far from the sea. Important to know is that we are basically located 3 hours from Paris by train, and an hour and a half from Lyon and Geneva. So it's a destination very, very easy to connect with through public transport or plane, obviously, when you come from Brazil. Another important thing to know is that Grenoble, though it's the biggest city of France, it's one of the most important cities when it comes to innovation. Many times, Grenoble has been described or as one of the best cities for innovation in France, and one of the best in Europe. I will switch to the next slide. Can you just confirm that you see the next slide? Yes. Okay. One particularity of Grenoble is that it's a scientific city. I told you about that, but it's also very particular in terms of geography, because it's, as you see on the pictures, though they might be a bit small, it's surrounded by mountains, and it's a very green city, very, very green. So people coming from other cities in France know that very well, and that's my case, that people from Grenoble are very committed to sports, to greens, to mountains, to ski, etc. This is one of particularity of the city, but that gives also a kind of special vibe to that city. It's one of the best city for students in France because of this landscape, this green environment, and the access to ski resorts or mountains for hiking, skiing, as I said before. Now, if we speak about the university where we are located, it's one of the top universities in France. Altogether, it represents about 6,000 students and 80 laboratories. So it's on one of the best French university in the Shanghai ranking or QS ranking, and the best university in France. So around top 5 in France, and top 100 and top 115 in the world. Why it is like this? Because, as I said, Grenoble is not as big as Paris, Lyon, Lille, or Marseille. It's just because history has brought a lot of famous researchers in that city, and because of this, a lot of very important research lab has developed. As you see, one of them in the picture, this big circle, is what is called the Center for Nuclear Energy, but also Sustainable Energy. This is what attracted a lot of researchers and famous researchers in Grenoble. As Alain Dufresne is probably laughing when I'm saying this, but it's true. Now, when we speak about engineering in Grenoble and Grenoble Institute of Engineering, we are together 8 graduate school of engineering. And as you can see, if you can read my slide, the schools are pretty specific. We don't have, I would say, very standard or let's say graduate school of engineering that are just providing engineering as you can have in other cities in France, but they are very specific. I'm not going to mention all of them, but let's say, just to mention a few of them, we have very, very good school dedicated to applied mathematics and computer science, one of the top in France and in the world. Others dedicated to physics, electronics, material science. And the particularity of Grenoble INP Pagora, so that's the one you see in the corner left with an orange color, is that it's a graduate school of engineering dedicated to paper, print media, and biomaterials. Why do we have such a school in Grenoble? It's just because about 115 years ago, the paper industry that was very developed in the surrounding of Grenoble decided to open a special training dedicated to the cardboard, paper, and pulp. So because of that, we got the chance to welcome in Grenoble this graduate school of engineering. And it's unique. In France, there is only one graduate school of engineering dedicated to paper, print media, and biomaterials. So we are an international school. We welcome every year numerous students. And actually, we had, during 3 years, welcome a lot of Brazilians from Brazil. If I speak about our school, as I said, we were created in 1907, so we are very old, and we are a state-funded school that covers the entire plant biomass valorization chain, from the biomass to functionalized bio-based materials. However, we are a very small school in comparison to the schools you have in Grenoble, but that's make us very unconventional and very specific. And actually, that's also one of our strengths in Pagora. People feel as part of a big family. So it's not uncommon that you finish the class and you get to talk with your professor outside of the class. If you have a problem or trouble, it's really easy to be connected with both the administration and the academics. So we offer only one engineering degree, which means 3 years programs at a master level, and 2 international master program that I'm going to present after. One particularity of that school is that we are approximately a school with about 50% of women and men. We say 40, and now, depending on the year, we reach 50%, which is very uncommon in France. The average percentage of women in other schools in Grenoble is rather around 15-20%. So I don't know what the situation in Brazil, but for us, there are definitely in France more men than women in a graduate school of engineering. Now, if I go deeper on the training, and more specifically, the program that are open to you and that you could apply for if you are interested in. We have designed some international semester program for exchange students, for international students. dedicated to different fields. Of course, they are highly connected with what are our strengths: paper science, biorefinery, and biomaterials. So we have some fall semester and spring semester. So two semesters in fall that are taught in English. So one dedicated to paper science, biorefinery, and biomaterials. A second one, which is dedicated to print science, processes, and materials. And a third one dedicated to digital media and functional printing. And each one is open in spring only. However, a second semester, which is not presented in my slide, also dedicated to biomaterials and biorefinery for the semester. So just to present it differently, students that are not speaking French but are interested to study with us to get some ECTS, it's what we call in Europe, or some credits, hours of teaching, can decide to apply to our school within an exchange program and come for a semester, 1 year, to get the classes with Alain Dufresne and with other professors at the school. So this is one opportunity that is important to keep in mind. So if you want to enter into details, when we speak about paper science and biorefinery biomaterials, the courses are dedicated to engineering of paper processes, valorization of biomass and recycling, and functional materials. And what is very important to understand is, since we are a graduate school of engineering, we are also applied to the industry. So our courses are not only theoretical courses, but you have a lot also of facilities to work in the labs or to work in group for some projects. I'm saying this because now that we have experience with some students from Brazil or for Latin America, them were not familiar with this, and I think it could be a kind of a bonus for you to acquire this more practical aspect on the top of theoretical background. So another semester is dedicated to print science, so processes and material. Courses on printing processes, printed electronics, smart and intelligent packaging, digital printing, and cross-media communication. Again, it's a semester in English. The third one, which is the continuation of the previous one, is dedicated to printed electronic system, functional printing, fluids and specific properties, communicating, interactive, and intelligent products. Well, since I'm not an academic, I'm not to enter into details, but of course, if you have questions about the semester programs, to ask questions at the end of the presentation. I'm going now to present you two master degrees that are specifically dedicated to international students. One of them has been open already for 5 years. We are going to welcome the fifth generation of students. Professor Alain Dufresne is teaching actually in this master program, so you can also ask him question about the program. So this program is called Master Biorefinery and Biomaterials, and it's a program that is quite successful. We have now around 20 students every year coming from all over the world. We got students from Latin America, more specifically from Colombia, from Mexico, from Venezuela as well in the past, but also, and it's also interesting, students from Asia, from Europe, and from France. But 95% of the students are foreign students, which is also very, very attractive and create a kind of very positive dynamic. So As I said, it's a program fully taught in English. It's only 1 year master degree with 1 semester, which is a theoretical semester, and semester, which is more a practical semester with an internship inside a lab or inside a company. So the purpose of this master degree is to help students to move towards the profession dedicated to valorization of plant biomass into chemicals, energy, and biomaterials. It's open to international students with at least 4 years of university level in chemistry, chemical engineering, or material science. So that's generally the background of the students coming to that master degree. And another aspect of that master program is that we have developed 3 double degrees with relevant partners from Canada, University of Quebec Trois-Rivières, which is also a university surrounded by the paper industry, and that has a very important researchers in the field. Another one in Sweden, which is one of the top leading university worldwide. It's KTH based in Stockholm. And the third one in Spain, in Barcelona, where also there is the possibility to study for an extra year to get degrees from both universities. So this is again an example of the collaboration we try to develop with partners that are aligned with our field of excellence. Just to speak a little bit more about the program, you can see here that there are different units in this program. Unit dedicated to biorefinery for chemicals, another one biorefinery for energy, biomaterials, biomass purification and analytical techniques, and as I mentioned before, some projects, technical economical projects, where students have to work within a team of possibilities and conduct research for a specific economical and technical issue. So this is about the first semester of the program, and the second semester, you see here on the right part of my slide, is a 6 months internship with a master thesis period. So what we ask the students is to find an internship that can be based anywhere in the world, I mean, and the internship can be done either in a research lab dedicated to this field, also to companies. And this is actually one of our strengths, is that as we are very experienced in working with companies, every year we find opportunities for students to work in companies in France. They are not necessarily around Grenoble. Sometimes they are further in France. We also have opportunities of internship in different companies in Europe. But we used to send students to L'Oréal or to Fiber Excellence. They have a research center. I remember Pakistani students doing this internship there. And we also have ties with research laboratories that are close to us, or at least working on similar field of research, and that offer opportunity to students. One thing very important to know, because there is always the financial aspect that has to be taken when you are a student or want to do a master degree, is that in France, when you are an intern for more than 2 months, it's compulsory for the company or the lab to provide with salary. So classically, the students receive between 500 1,000 euros a month during the second semester of this master degree. Basically, they receive a kind of a gratification, it's how it's called, by the company or by the lab that hosts during this period. So that's all about the master degree in biorefinery and biomaterials. And once again, if you have questions about it, do not hesitate. I'm going to talk a little bit about another degree that may be a bit further from your center of interest, but we never know. We are now opening a new degree in sustainable printed and integrated electronics. Again, it's the same format with a one-year degree divided into semester. One semester which is more theoretical semester, and second semester which is again an internship in a company or in a lab. So again, I'm not an expert, but I'm trying to present you this. One of the specificity of our school, as I mentioned before, are everything connected with the printing processes, the inks, what we call generally the functionalization of different surface through printing processes. So we have experts in our laboratory on printing processes, on fluids, on the colors, colorimetry, on different inks, as well as what we call conducted inks. So a lot of research has been elaborating within the last 15 years in our lab on printed electronics, which is something very innovative. And the master is a kind of reflection of all the science that has been conducted. And here is an example about how you can, through printing processes, bring functionalities to a surface with some additives that will provide some electronic components. So this is what the master is about. Here's an example of the skill you can acquire and how it is connected with today's life. You can see up there a kind of so what we have realized in our labs through some research in a chair that existed in 5 years is that we can replace some materials that are extremely negative in terms of pollution through printing processes where will basically bring the same functionalities as some different other materials that you generally have to buy in some part of Asia and so on. But through printing processes, we manage to develop some circuits, and this is what is very interesting. Another aspect also is that we manage with some robots that you can to print in a 3D dimension, and that's also one of the expertise we try to bring to some students, because we were asked by some companies working in this field to develop some expertise about it. So this degree is more about materials, processes, electronic, and robotics. I'm not going to enter into details about that. You will have my presentation if you want, but that's the format with one theoretical semester and one practical semester. So who can apply? Again, students having at least 4 years of graduate studies in France or abroad. Here, of course, the prerequisites are slightly different. Again, we will be happy to welcome students with a background in chemistry of complex fluids, or processes, material science, electronics, additive manufacturing, connected object, or sustainable industrial processes. We are completely aware of the fact that students will not be able to have the prerequisites when they apply, but at least if they could have few of them, that will make the application more successful. Another thing I wanted to say about this degree is that we are supported by some industry. Name here is Schneider Electric, that is a famous French company that develop a lot of electrical equipment for many industries, but other companies such as Severin, which is a paper printing industry, other as well. And the interesting thing is that they are actually, some of them providing us with a scholarship, and generally speaking, for both programs, we have scholarship available for students. All I wanted to say when it comes to education, now I just would like, if I can have speak 5 minutes about the research possibilities. I spoke a lot about the Graduate School of Engineering, but what I forgot to say is that the particularity of Agora is that the school is actually based in the same facilities as a research lab, and the lab basically conducts research on different fields which are very similar to the one of the Graduate School of Engineering. So the scientific expertise is presented here. So we start from the product of the forest of wood or other natural plants. We have a team focusing on the biorefinery processes, and out of that we can extract the lignin, the cellulose, and hemicellulose. And the work of some of the team in the lab will be to try to develop materials or products out of these three components. From the cellulose, obviously, paper, cardboard is something everyone knows, but we also try to develop other materials to replace, for instance, some plastics, to develop other things such as glue or sugars from the hemicellulose, for instance. Alain Dufresne is around you, so will be the best person to tell you about that. And on these materials, one of the team in our lab is working on bringing some application, such as printed electronic, or, for instance, bringing some functionalities to paper, cardboard, or other type of materials through printing processes. So this is what we do in the lab. We have 3 teams of researchers in the laboratory. So the laboratory is called the LGP2, which is the Laboratory of Pulp and Paper and Paper Science and Graphic Arts, and it's divided in 3 teams, as you can see. And well, we conduct a lot of research, and a lot of research is actually conducted through for the industry. So we have about 30 projects that are conducted within a project from a company, and we have at the school and the lab something like 300-400 partners with which we developed a lot of different projects every year, different topics. So now just to speak about the application of everything I mentioned in terms of education and research. So of course we work for the green chemistry and biomaterial sectors, and we do innovative research and development. One of our purpose is sustainable materials, biocomposite, and another sector we work very much with is the packaging and smart paper sectors. So of course we are very well connected with the cardboard, paper industry, but not only. More and more we get a contract with different type of industry. For instance, the end users for industry or the construction industry that is interested in the development of bio-based materials and how to develop new functionalities through natural fibers. Another sectors with whom we work with a lot is the sector of printing, as I mentioned. So of course we are very well connected with the printing industry, the converting industry. We basically train most of the engineers working in this industry in France, and we do also a lot of research with them. And another the path is the bioeconomic sector. So we have also a lot of projects that lead our students to work in different networks dedicated to the circular economy, energy, etc., etc. So again, I'm not going to be too long on that, but just to, I don't know what is the situation in Brazil, but if you think of the bioeconomy in France, in Europe, sorry, we speak about the creation of 1 million new green jobs within the next year. So as you know, there is a high research to find solutions to replace the plastics or other, let's say, polluting components. So of course we have to find alternative, and it's what our laboratory is doing to try to develop some alternatives for different type of industry. I'm almost done with my presentation. Just wanted to say that we have a YouTube channel where you can find a lot of seminars, information, presentation about the master degrees, about the school, about the research that are developed in our lab. We are well present as well on social media, Facebook, YouTube. If for those who are interested about Grenoble and to know where you could come, this is a picture of Grenoble. So you see that the mountains are very high in Grenoble, and that the city is basically built in the middle of mountains. As I mentioned, it's a sporty city in winter, but also in summer. Very great, which is also something students like a lot. They can come to the school, public transport easily by bike, no need to have a car at all. And some of them even walk to come to the school. And we have a very, very green campus. So it's again something very attractive. But it's also a cultural city with different museums, different exhibits. So welcome to Grenoble. And now I'm ready for some questions if you have. Thank you.
Congratulations, Professor Gastel, for your excellent presentation. It truly gives us a great wish to go to Grenoble next month, but I think it will take time for us to arrange a proper way of sending students and researchers as well. But it was a great topic. I must say, I'm speaking here as a Dean of Internationalization of the UFPB, like yourself. So we will do, as UFPB, to help students and all the academics to prepare acceptable and good proposals to go forward in these ideas that you presented today. And I'm also here as a researcher in the field of material science and the use of natural materials. Just to let you know, this state is basically agro-industrial state, and biomass is really important to us. I can say that the number one waste, industrial waste here, is the biomass, is sugarcane bagasse, and the second is construction waste. So to give you an idea of the amount of sugarcane bagasse ash we have. But we also have bamboo, we have pineapple leaves, we have coconut, we have several fibers that have been studied for decades in this university. And that connects very well with what you presented, because we are going to the next level in printing technology, printing science. And everything you said really connects to us. So we really must do something about it, because once you go to that level of technology, you can add a lot of value to the products that we have in our state, and therefore it will lead to um, regional development and with sustainability, which is what we're talking about today. And I would like to highlight very briefly, some points that we also have a memorandum of understanding with the University of Grenoble and other 14 French institutions. So the channel with France has been open for a long time, and it's a very fruitful one. Technology Center, as we are, has a great influence from French universities from the 70s and the 80s. And I can say to you that most of the engineering courses we have been prepared and delivered by people who had their doctorate courses in France. And it is a channel that it's open right now. So there are many students going there in several programs, undergrads and postgrads. And with French language and French culture for our institution is very important. We have now the Institute for Linguistic and Cultural Studies, where we have a French hub interaction with French-speaking students from France and also from other parts of the world, and many of them from Africa. So in case of an exchange program, that's a good place to be around. The third topic I'd like to talk about, to contribute to the strategy that Professor von Gastel presented here, is that we have, this is more for researchers and academics, we have the possibility of having specific design programs using the interinstitutional cooperation programs from the Brazilian government, which stimulates us to prepare specific programs for specific topics. And I would suggest that academics from the UFPB and from Grenoble will join together to prepare courses like this. There are very there's a very open channel to explore that. And just this year, the state government, Paraíba state government, started a Paraíba Without Border, which is a program that has some money attached to contribute to strategies for internationalization that leads to economic development of our state. So in saying this, I would like to be here as representing the institution with a message that we are truly engaged to make this program presented by Professor Van Gastel a success for both institutions. So once again, congratulate you, and I'm available. Professor Amelia has my contact, so if any of you wants to put forward proposals and ideas, UFPB is happy to support. Thank you very much.
O espaço está aberto para dúvidas, então, caso alguém queira perguntar alguma coisa, agora é o momento. Thank you for the lecture. And I would like to know if there is any way I could know more about the financial part of the studies in Vietnam.
Thank you for the question. I didn't hear the last part of your sentence. If you could know more about
the finance part, the money.
The funding, the money, right?
Yes.
So if you I don't know if you think about the cost of applying or the fees for a degree, in the master degree I have presented before, the cost of them is 3,700 euros for the academic year, and this is all included. So 3,700 euros. And generally speaking, when we speak about living in France, we consider that for students, the cost is approximately between 600 and 700 euros per month. This to give you a large image of the situation of a student in France. Now, as I mentioned, there are scholarships available for the degrees we offer. So, for instance, for the degree I mentioned, the Master Biorefinery and Biomaterials. So, among the 18 students we got this year, 4 or 5 of them got a scholarship, either from the university, either from the companies. Myself, pressuring the companies for them to pay scholarship, and I succeeded with 2 of them so far. And there are also scholarships available from the Brazilian government, I suppose, but also from the French embassy, where there is a scholarship program. So this generally the scholarship provide a support for everything. Another thing to know is when you are in France, you have a lot of let's say discounts on many things, and one of them is food. Food is very important in France, and well, students get access to a special restaurant for students where you pay something like €2 for a full meal, but also public transportation and everything. Students get 50% discount on almost everything. So this is something to take into account. So of course it has a cost to study in France, but if you prepare your mobility long enough, you could find some way to finance it. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Hey, thank you for the presentation. I'd like to know if you have any kind of tips for us to have better chance for joining the program.
I didn't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard a little bit, but could you speak a bit louder, because it's hard for me to catch the words.
Do you have any tips for us to have better chance to join the program?
Wow, I'm sorry, I didn't get all the words. Again, I'm very sorry for that.
Do you have any tips for us to have better chance to join the program?
So if I have some tips for you to
join the program.
To join the program. Well, it's difficult to say. Of course, I mean, I will try to rephrase your question, but first of all, when we check the applications, the professors are checking the results you got during the years at university. Another thing is your background is very important. Of course, there are some prerequisites that will be checked on your application, and well, that's the most important. And then, of course, if you have some recommendation later, if you had some experience in a lab and so on, this is always very, very important to add in your file. Now, considering that we have already good connection with this university, and I mean, of course, it's easier for us to evaluate the content of an application from a partner university than from university that we have no idea about. So in your case, you will have the privilege to, if you apply to be considered as a student from a university we know, and if you have some question, we could always ask your professor. So I don't know if I answered your question, but that's the right. I don't know if there is other question, but before I forget, I also wanted to say that I spoke about research, and here are also opportunities. So I spoke about the possibility to come as an exchange student or a student in a master degree. But another possibility that exists is to come within an internship in the lab. So this is also something we do. Professor Dufresne welcome every year some researchers in his team, and other colleagues do that as well. So keep in mind that it's also an opportunity to come in the lab for some months to conduct research either in the frame of a master thesis or master program, or in PhD or postdoc studies. So this is also another opportunity that exists.
Nosso especial agradecimento ao senhor Severin por sua presença e valiosa contribuição. We would like to thank you, Mr. Severin for your presence and valuable contribution.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope next time I'm coming and I talk directly to you, because for people who know me, I'm more convincing being in front of an audience than behind a screen. But thank you for the invitation to all of you, and it was a very great pleasure for me to speak with you today.
Agradecemos a participação de todos os presentes e informamos que as atividades seguem no turno vespertino a partir das 2h da tarde. Os temas abordados, as atividades programadas e os seus ministrantes estarão disponíveis em nossa programação. Esperamos que todos possam aproveitar ao máximo os momentos finais do evento e que ele tenha contribuído significativamente para ampliar os seus conhecimentos. Agora convido todos os presentes a tirarem uma foto no painel lá no térreo. Muito obrigada.
Pode parar? Vocês. Não, tem vocês. Eu vou fazer uma foto.
cara ligou pra mim, sai na primeira aqui. Vai cair geral. Vocês pra cá para aí. Aí vai cair o seu. Porque tem é um colega que eu tenho que trabalha em controle de telecomunicações. Você não passa uma região por um segurança satélite. Aí quando eu vi internet, então eu vejo já perdeu. Aí eu disse, ele passa uma coisa. Aí tem queda, né? Agora, eu faço Deus, agora vai cair geral. Aí eu disse, olha, chega, professor. Amém. Eu acho que sim. Não, eu acho que foi bom. Olha, agora eu até os textos aqui, não sei se ela vai perto.
Eu vou lá embaixo. Eu vou tirar foto e pra cá.
Tá, eu fico aqui. Ah, tá ali ela. Professor! Aí ele me passou a informação toda aí. Professor! Sua garrafa. Ai, meu irmão, que sua garrafa ficou aqui. Leandro? Leandro, eu quero.
Mas o cara da palestra e pensar e a mais gente lá ficando assim para onde a câmera estava apontando.
Pois é, e eu quero levantar para ir, mas aí eu queria cair aqui, aí eu fui lá.
Agora passaram o pessoal estava saindo, porque estava passando que era para ter passado esse tempo só no final da palestra. Passaram antes, aí o pessoal, os alunos que aquele aluno faz.
Bom, toda vez deixar para o final, né? O workshop tem que fazer
Tem que fechar a sala.
Sim, as pessoas que voltavam, os caras só olhando para o tô olhando aqui as coisas, comparando ela para aqui. Oiê! Coisa para por aqui? Não, não choca isso. Não, mas eu voltei. Eu estou aqui no bom de noite. É aqui logo na outra porta do centro. Você está no bloco direito. Você vai dar central, né? Vai ter que central um pouquinho de chão. Daqui para aí. Eu acho que eu sei onde é. Porque tem várias bibliotecas, né? Ou não? É, tem. É, tem setoriais que tem a central. Não é central, não é tão longe. Não tem não. Até onde eu me lembro, que eu já fui pegar. Bom, você tem uma posição de ligar para o que eu vou fazer. Você vai pegar aqui a evolução. Que horas é? Só pegar essa informação e voltar aqui no mostrar o oi e vou procurar almoço. Uma filha minha também vai procurar almoço agora? Então pronto, eu dou já um toque no WhatsApp, viu? Se eu vou ir. É? Eu tenho carregador aqui, então sustenta aí, carregador naquele stand. Aí daqui a pouco eu fico. Mas se você tiver na biblioteca central, eu gosto. Viu? Pode ficar tranquilo. Tá, beleza.